What's up, guys? It's Anthony from the Scale with Sales team here. And today I have a training I'm going to go over with you guys how to teach you how to double your closing rate and close 40 to 60% of your sales calls in the next 90 days. I wouldn't say it's so much of a training. It's more so understanding the math and the importance of why you should really aim to be closing at this percentage and why you shouldn't overlook it inside of your business. Okay. Link to this document will be below in the description. All right, so let's just dive right into it. So I want to look at the math here with you guys between closing 20% versus 40% for a typical coaching program or marketing agency, whatever business you own. Okay, we're going to look at it from the perspective of a coach first and then from a closer. And it's important, even if you're a coach, to hear the perspective looking at it from a closer, because at one point you're going to probably have somebody taking sales calls for you. Okay, so sales calls per week. Let's say you're taking 5. Okay. It's not that many. You're taking 5 calls per week, live calls. Okay. It's 20 live calls per month. And let's say your offer is $3,000. Maybe you're a fitness coach. Maybe you're a business coach. Maybe you're a marketing agency owner. Now, let's just say you only close at 20%. And we're using 20% because that's what most people think is good, 20 to 30%. Okay. But it's really not that great. All right. 20% of 20 calls, it's 4 closes each month. 4 closes times $3,000, that's $12,000 in revenue, okay? We still have taxes. We still have business expenses. Your take home is not going to be that crazy, okay? Annually, that would be $144,000. Maybe that's good. I don't know. It really just depends on where you're at. Now, with the same lead flow, so without changing anything you're doing right now, without changing your output, without changing any variables whatsoever, if you just got a little bit better at sales, when you started to close at 40%, okay? Same amount of calls, 5. Same amount of calls per month, 20. Same offer, okay? You just closed higher percentage. You had 8 calls each month, 8 closes each month, I should say. That's $24,000 in revenue, okay? That's $288,000 a year. That's how much money you're potentially leaving on the table with the exact lead flow that you have currently. Okay. Maybe you're not going to close at 40% every month, but you should still try to get close to this every month because you're leaving so much money on the table. Now, okay, yeah, you got tax bill. Yeah, but now I could invest it. I could pay for a better accountant. Now I could pay for better software. Now I can invest in my business a little bit better to make me a better entrepreneur, a better business owner. I have more money to now put into content, to put into ads, to put into systems, to put into employees, right? Think about how much more we can invest inside of our business now to get us the freedom that we want. Okay, because we really focused on what's important early on in our business, which is sales and closing at a high level. Now, if you want to get a little crazy, I put 60% in here too. Some months, if you're on fire, you should be up there, okay? It's totally normal. If you have people booking calls with you, right? These are live calls. If you have people booking calls with you, that means they want your help. They're inquiring your services. They're closable, okay? Yeah, some people might be broke, but we have so many financing options that are available today that weren't available years ago. We have Affirm, we have Klarna, we have PayPal credit, we have Elective. We have so many different things that we can look into that this is not absurd and crazy. I've had months where I've closed 60%, okay? It's very possible. Same lead flow. You have 20 calls, take $3,000 offer, same offer. It's 12 closes. That's $36,000 a month, guys. It's $432,000 a year. That would change your freaking life, okay? But what do most coaches do wrong when they're not making the money they want to make? They look at everything besides sales. They start putting more money into content and hiring editors and hiring content coaches and putting more money into ads to book more calls. And they're masking the problem with quantity, okay? Because yes, they're taking more live calls per month. They're making more money, but they're still closing at a low percentage. So they're spending more money, and now they're spending more time taking these calls and putting in the extra energy and effort required to be able to book these calls or make the extra content or do whatever it takes, okay? And they're getting further away from the reason they actually started this business, to help people, okay? Maybe they're not getting away from that, but they're spending more time and they're spending more money, and it's draining them of energy, okay? We all got into this space to have the time and energy and income that we want to have. And it's possible right now with your current lead flow. Okay. If you're closing 60, 70%, whatever, okay, get out of here. Exit the video. It's probably not for you. Okay. But if you're not closing at the level you want to be and you still have anxiety or nerves around sales, this video is definitely for you. Now let's look at it if you're a closer. And if you're a coach, stick around and watch this. And the reason is because at one point you're going to probably hire a closer once you get to that point, okay? And you want them to make money. You want them to make good money. You want them to love the company, love the offer, okay? You want them to stick around. Well, that means they need to be performing at an elite level. All right. So if you're a high ticket closer, okay, you're taking more volume typically. So let's say you're taking 20 calls a week. So that's 4 calls a day if you work 5 days a week. Okay. It's 3 calls, you work 6 days a week, roughly. Okay. 80 live calls a month. Let's say your ticket price is $5K and you're only closing 20%. 16 closes. Commission's 10%. So 10% of 5K is $500. So 16 times $500, that's $8,000. Cool. 12 months, that's 96 grand. Still didn't pay taxes, still have to pay to live. Okay. Not that much money. If you just got a little bit better and you started closing at 40%, same numbers, that's 32 closes per month. That's $16,000. That's $192,000. That's why you get into closing. That's why you should get into high ticket closing. But most people, they stop here because they're completely broke. I was completely broke when I got into high ticket closing and I started popping off like 8 to 12 grand months, right? And I didn't really think I could get better at sales for a long time because I achieved my first goal. But I didn't realize how much money I was leaving on the table. And then now I have some months where I typically, I'm closer to this, okay? Look at how much money that is. Look how much money you're leaving on the table. So what do closers do? They start complaining. They start getting unenthused about the offer they're on when they're not making the money they want to make. Do you think that's going to help your performance or hurt it? It's going to hurt it. If you're a business owner, is that going to help your team, help your business grow, or is that going to hurt it? Because then what happens is the closer goes and offer stacks. They jump on another offer, and now they're stacked up all day with calls. Is that going to help their performance or hurt it if they're taking 14 calls a day? It's going to hurt it. They're going to be drained. They're going to be tired. They're going to be unenthused. They're going to be miserable. And it's the same reason. Why did you get into closing? To buy your time, to buy your freedom back, to make more money. It doesn't make sense. We need to look at you getting better as a closer first before we look at anything else. And if you're performing better, now what? Now let's try to get our compensation higher. Let's try to get this from 10 to 15%. Now we should be building up recurring revenue from people on payment plans. Now we should be getting sales bonuses and things like that. So guys, getting better at closing, it's really like, it has a huge ROI that I think is severely overlooked by coaches, business owners, and closers. And I just really wanted to lay out the math because you could say, I lie, this is marketing, this is bullshit, right? But the math doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie, okay? So let's look at a little bit here of what I typed up just to kind of summarize it all. Most coaches think they need better leads or more leads, better ads, or a bigger audience to grow their business. It's not true. I know a ton of coaches that have small followings that make 50, 60 grand a month. Most closers think they need better leads, more volume, or a better offer to make more money. Yeah, sometimes that is the case, but more often than not, it isn't the case, okay? And if your offer is booking you calls, it's probably not a bad offer. It's probably, there's probably viable opportunity. So the truth is, it's not a lead problem. A lot of times it's a closing problem. The real reason most coaches and most closers stay stuck under 10 grand a month and don't achieve the freedom they want is because of the entire way they're approaching sales calls. It's outdated, okay? The market has evolved. If you're reading books, you're watching gurus and mentors that have huge personal brands that came up 5, 6 years ago, it was a completely different space, okay? Prospects are smarter now. They've maybe already been through a coaching program. They've maybe already been through 5 other people's funnels, okay? They're more skeptical. They're more experienced. Maybe they've had a shitty experience already. They've been pitched before. So they know the common sales tactics. They know the common word tracks. They know the common objection handles. They've talked to other bad sales reps before, and that puts a bad taste in their mouth about any salesperson they're talking to automatically. Okay, so people can tell when you're trying to play them. So if you're relying on scripts or the how does that make you feel doctor frame, okay? Questions to diagnose prospects and run your discovery process. And your way of thinking you're going to get better is just by sitting here and watching Alex Hermosi or any of these guys, handle objections on Instagram Reels and try to memorize their word tracks. You've already lost the call. By the time the objections come up, you've already lost any and all authority, okay? If you don't know how to establish leadership, authority, and control from the very beginning of a call, it doesn't matter how good your offer is. You're going to get hit with the I need to think about it, the I can't afford it, the let me get back to yous. And it's not because your offer sucks. And it's not because you're a bad coach and you don't care about your clients or anything like that, right? Don't take it personal. It's just because the prospect doesn't trust you to lead them because you didn't convey your confidence, your ability, your authority that you actually can help them. Okay. I'll tell another example. Sometimes, I'm training up one of our closers on our team. His name's Josh, right? And when Josh was brand new, okay, sometimes he'd be like, "Hey, man, can you jump on this quick call quick?" Can you jump on this call quick? He has a few questions. I would jump on sales calls, have no idea what took place already on that call. The call's been going on for 50 minutes. I jump on no context, but I just know how to position my authority properly and my leadership, and I'd get the deal done in 5 minutes, get a paid in full, jump on. It's like, we're doing this, okay? And it's because I understand the important things that you need to have to run sales calls properly. It's authority, it's the mindset. And I have a belief system that's serving me, that I know how to talk to people the right way. And that is something that you can be taught and understand unconsciously to where you just do it. And once you do that, I guarantee you will start making more money. Okay. So, yeah, guys, check this out. Play with the numbers for your own offer. I encourage you, make a little table here. Okay. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you are interested in potentially working together, more personalized one-on-one engagement with our team to get better as a closer, get better as a coach, okay, shoot me a message, any questions you have, or you could book a call, watch our YouTube video, check out our other guides. I'll link them below in the description, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.